I think the FRM definitely has made a difference in my career. It gave me a lot of confidence. You can't always tell how other people view the certificate program, but at least I knew from my own experience that it gave me a lot of confidence that I knew what I was talking about, sometimes in completely new subjects, and it gave me at least a baseline understanding of the vocabulary in new risk areas that I had no background in before. So it gave me a certain amount of confidence starting in a new area that I think was worth a great deal for me. On the other hand, knowing how much other professionals view it, I've seen that it's grown in stature and more widely known. It is good for people coming from outside finance, actually, perhaps even more importantly. For example, the vocabulary is completely different for economists and for people working in financial risk management. And this concept of a VAR came up. And I was like, oh, yeah, vector autoregressive. I know what that is. And they're like, no, it's not vector autoregressive. That was a very good example of something that was completely worlds apart. So for someone coming from economics with little financial background or practical risk management, it was tremendously useful. I also think for even people who come with a finance degree, they'd be surprised how each particular sector of risk management has its own vocabulary, its own history, and its own tools. And so you need to know that vocabulary to even start to talk to those people. It's very segmented, much more than one would think until you actually get into the working world. So it's helpful for everyone. The reason why one might want to put FRM at the end of your qualifications on your business card or on your curriculum, CV, might be that your other qualifications may not show the breadth of your knowledge. So I have a PhD in economics, and that usually means that a lot of management type people think, oh, I won't be able to speak to her because she's going to be so quantitative and so up in the clouds that she has no idea what it's like to work in the real world managing risk. So having the FRM perhaps gives at least an initial impression that I may have some basic knowledge and we have some common ground. So I think that's really helpful. There is the tendency to assume that PhDs don't know reality. They just work on the very high quantitative theoretical level. And so the FRM sort of gives that indication that at least I'm willing to consider that there's another point of view. When I see someone who's done the FRM, and I met a colleague at work who I didn't know had it, and he told me he'd done the FRM all on his own without a study group, and I was tremendously impressed and immediately wanted him to work with me. Not because I think the FRM meant he was a genius, but it showed perseverance and just plain old gutsy to go out and figure out that this could be helpful and to sit down and do it. So it was more of a character reference than perhaps even a professional certification in that sense.